Alright, we're taking a different approach this time because I started doing some stuff and I realised I was too tired to talk to camera, so I thought, okay, I can try doing voiceover. I'll just record and then I'll come back and talk over top. So we'll see how that goes, but I kind of feel like I might lose interest before I get to do the voiceover, so I don't know, maybe just talking straight to camera is for me. So this is pottering, really. Just, you know how you go outside and you think, okay, I'll start doing this, and then you change your mind and you go and do something else. This is really the flavour of the day. So this is me making some space in my garage, which used to get lots of rain in through the side, but obviously I've put my disaster tarp up, and so now I kind of feel like I could do a bit more stuff in here. And so I've got this folding table with the idea that I could do some more potting of plants and just have a bit of a flat space to do some stuff, because our section is really sloped, so it's not easy to kind of set stuff up to get organised. So I thought I'll just make myself a little bit of space, moved some of the firewood and leaves and things to be able to put that up. But it was a beautiful day, and this is probably about a week and a half post-surgery now, so I do have much better breathing than what I did when I started. Still pretty tired though, so you'll see kind of bits and pieces where I start doing things and then I kind of get tired and stop. But that's okay, because first of all, still recovering from surgery, but also I guess one of the things that we talk about in my collective of peeps that I hang out with is that sometimes injured or sick, or you've got other stuff going on, you can't always do everything you want to do. So taking it slow and just pivoting and listening to your body is part of the goals. Okay, the other thing I've had in my head that I wanted to do was, you might remember from a couple of videos back, there's a racetrack that Toby runs up and down along the fence line to let everyone know that he is here and a big guy and not to be messed with. So what it means is the bark chips kind of get stacked up near the end when he breaks suddenly, so trying to dig those out. It's probably 30 centimetres deep, and I found a veggie, so that is probably a pretty reasonably sized one that's come off of that bush at the end. So I was excited to see that that actually did fruit this summer, and kind of hopeful we can get more next summer with some irrigation. Now this was not the most fun thing, and you can kind of see me slowing down, hanging out with the weed mat going, I hate this, and then getting puffed and kind of giving up. And that's okay, we're allowed to give up. So right beside that veggie is the bay tree, and it's also sitting in the most beautiful sunny sheltered part of my entire section. So I don't super care about bay, although I have learnt a lot about it in the last 24 hours. But I really, really, really want a lemon tree, and they're quite hard to grow down here in Dunedin. So I thought, okay, I'm going to sacrifice this bay, and I'm going to give myself a spot for a lemon tree that'll give it the best chance possible. So I thought, yep, I'll just completely nuke this bay, but once I've trimmed all the branches off, it actually still looks like quite a nice shrub, so I might still try and put that in a pot, because I can't quite bring myself to just chuck it in the bin. So this is my big armload of bay, and then I had to figure out what I was going to do with it. I do use bay heaps in terms of cooking and stocks and stews and that kind of stuff, so I thought, okay, well, again, unexpected harvest, and trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it. So thank you to Google. I was able to look up what to do with it. So looking at all of the leaves that didn't have any holes in them, that didn't have any kind of brown bits on them, and cutting those off, and then any of the stalks, I guess, and branches that were left, I tied them into bundles because I quite like having herbs drying around and about. They can be nice additions to a fire as well, which I'll show you again later. So this is a bag full of bay, which is pretty exciting to have. That'll definitely keep me going for a while. And here's some of the branches, the little, what do you call them, bouquets maybe, of leftover bay that I can dry and use for other stuff as well. So this is me figuring out, okay, how am I going to wash these? How am I going to dry these? Because you don't use them kind of green, you dry them out, as you'll know from getting them from the shops. They're actually quite crispy dry, like properly dry. So need to figure out how to do that. And I thought, yeah, I could just spread these out to dry after I've washed them, but actually there's a lot, so they took up quite a lot of room. I had to think a little bit more about what I could actually do, particularly if they wanted to dry naturally for a couple of weeks. I don't have the table space really to put them out and leave them there for that amount of time. So you see my washing will get started off kind of, oh look, leaf by leaf, and then became handfuls of near enough, which fits in nicely with the rest of my model of gardening and harvesting as well. So yeah, this is the big pile. You'll see I try and dry them first of all with my tea towels, thinking, oh yeah, that'll pick up a fair amount of the water, but they're quite a waxy leaf, so it really didn't do much at all. And I tried with some paper towels, and still they were quite holding on to quite a lot of water. So again, thanks to Google, found that you could actually dry them in the oven for a couple of hours to get them into that crispy space. That did want single layer to do that. Obviously this is not single layer, but it did give it a chance to like get most of the immediate kind of damp off them, so that I could put them somewhere else to dry again after that. Look, moving from gardening content to cooking content. What a legend. So this is later that night, and it's some of those bunches of bay. What I really like doing with bunches of herbs is to burn them. There's kind of a long history around burning of herbs, a variety of traditions, but I find it quite cathartic when stuff's happen. Hey Toby. During the day, to just have something kind of physical that you can throw in, burn, and go, yep, that's the end of that. That's gone for the day. It's gone up the chimney. And it looks pretty impressive actually while they're still green. So multi-use, and this is them now. This is the final stage, drying them. I put them in paper bags and just kind of hung them up from the ceiling, which is nice and warm, for them to dry. And that's the story of how I got bay leaves for the next couple of years. Bye!